We're live.
Good evening. It is Sunday, the 28th of April, and Ken Walls himself tells me that it is the year 2024. And you are watching and listening to The Ken and Glenn Show. And now, your host, Ken Walls.
I think I'm the co-host.
No, you have top billing. Top billing means you're the host.
Oh,
I
so
may be
you're the
just a country
co-host.
boy from Texas. I don't need much. All I need are a couple of yogurt raisins. And I've
I
got them right
love
now. I'm
yogurt
happy.
raisins. I love
Yogurt,
those things.
yeah, yogurt raisins.
Hey man, I gotta say, huge congratulations to you, man. And because you were here last night, I talked to you about this, but for anybody watching, if they've not seen your the show that y'all have on Apple TV, Manhunt.
Manhunt.
So good, dude. And you play the president of the United States, Andrew Johnson, who took over when after Lincoln was assassinated.
Oh, spoiler, Ken. Spoiler.
I
You
know
just told him Lincoln was killed.
he was. Dude, it's spectacular, and you are just not likable.
And now let's talk about the character. I mean, I think it's great that you chose tonight as the opportunity to go public with your disgust with me and inform me that I'm not.
No, dude. Your character.
That might be why I'm able to play unlikable characters.
Dude,
Hey, good evening, Ken, and good evening to all of you.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday evening.
Where is everybody?
I hope
I'm telling you, man, I'm being
waiting
throttled.
for the first hey comment.
Nobody has said hey.
There it is. There's Victoria.
God. Victoria. Love Victoria.
I love it.
She's amazing.
I love that Victoria is watching, and it's like 6. No, it's not even 6. It's like 4:30.
Dude, she's wearing an NCIS hat, drinking from an NCIS coffee mug.
Well, what else would you expect her to do?
In her picture, her profile picture.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Did you ever play on NCIS?
I did.
Were you ever on?
That's why she has an NCIS hat.
Hold it. I don't have one.
Well, if you'd be a little sweeter like Victoria, you might wind up with some merch. Speaking of merch, Ken.
Oh, dude. We have merch.
Shout out to the Ken and Glenn merch.
We have merch. I gotta tell you, man, we've talked about it. So many people have asked me about it, asked you about it. Where do I buy that hat? Where do I buy a coffee mug? Where do I get this? The mouse pads. And well, we have it now. KenandGlenn.com/merch.
Mouse.
Go get you some. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have merch. That's hilarious.
Did I tell you that my car became a mouse pad, a pad where mice could hang out? Yeah.
Yes.
No, I know because you helped me vacuum it, and
I discovered the nest. Remember?
It was crazy.
Have you set that thing free yet? That car?
No, not when it could become a home for Texas mice. I wouldn't want to rob them of that opportunity now that the California mice have had their way with it. No, it's getting better and better. But if you've ever had mice take over your car, it's pretty brutal. Uh, an old Honda that I've owned stayed in California many years ago. We just kept it there because I'm out there working a lot, and we keep it at my daughter's place. And we decided to go ahead and bring it back because I've been going to LA less and less because production has gone to different states. And we thought if we're going to pay the insurance on it and everything, we might as well get some driving out of it. And we moved it here, and lo and behold, it had a horrific smell to it. And we found out why. And
It was horrific. Is not
wow,
even. Not sure that's
maybe
I mean,
nauseating would be.
that was, yes, it was that too.
Well,
Yeah, it's
but
pretty
let's
bad.
talk about something more uplifting than mouse urine, shall we?
Yes.
No, like
Talk about gratitude.
birthday. I had a big birthday this week, Ken. You know,
Oh, you did.
I'm at the retirement year, although I have no intention of retiring, but I am 65 now. And
Wow.
it was a great week of celebration, and my students were so wonderful doing scenes from my career. That was fabulous. But I got to tell you, there's just been over the last several years this lovely peace, that this deep and abiding peace that has just moved in. And
Hey,
I'm
Jose.
not in a hurry. Hey, Jose Garza. I find myself not in a hurry, but just wanting to breathe it all in and stay in this constant state of gratitude. And tomorrow in class, because I teach on Mondays all
Yeah.
day and Tuesdays all day, I am going to be talking about what it means to be a facilitator. So just a little preview for anyone here who wants a little drop a one, both of you that are watching. Drop a one. Wow, you realize if one of you drop a one, that'll be a 50% response rate, which is incredible.
I
If
think
you,
I think the number's off.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's more than one watching. It says one is watching. So Victoria has already bailed on us.
Oh, she came in long enough to say hi, and then she went back to sleep.
That's a little bit
Victoria, are you
depressing.
still there?
She's not. She left.
Okay, well then Jose is 100%.
Maybe she's buying some merch.
Ah,
She might have left to go buy merch.
ah.
Yes. Jose is here. Hey,
Audience
where
is
two
on.
or more are gathered. Remember.
So tomorrow I'm just going to be talking about what it means to be a facilitator, which simply means we'll offer this up for people that watch this on the replay. But things are, I mean, life is made up of things that are in your life and things that are not in your life, and things that you want to have in your life but are not there yet, and other things that you do have in your life and you'd like to see them stay in your life. Right? Like for you, that would be your family. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there would be some other things, certain friends of yours, you'd like to keep them in place. And so then the question becomes, are you facilitating that? And if there's something you want in your life and you currently don't have it, what are you doing to facilitate its appearance? So you can absolutely create things or have them disappear when you become the appropriate facilitator. People want to get rid of some ugliness that might be going on in their life. Are you facilitating that? And then you look and see the uglinesses that are there. And if you're not addressing them, then why would you think it was going to magically get better? And I think all this teaches us, Bud, is that wishing is one of the weakest strategies, if not the weakest strategy there is. The idea that, I just wish it were better, or I wish that would go away. Well,
Right.
play a stronger role in that. What are you doing about it going away?
Right. Right.
Right. So what are you ready? Oh, she's still here.
No, she wasn't here. She came
That
back.
was earlier.
No, she came back. She's back now.
Oh, okay.
She
says,
left.
"Can't wait
She
to
was
get back
here,
from
then
the
she
US."
left, and then she came back,
Look
I
at
think.
this. She already can't wait to get back, and she was just here.
I know. She's so amazing.
So,
Love you, Victoria.
what do you want to do? She knows I love her, but let me go public with it. I love you as well, darling. What do you plan to do? Because when if you want to know the primary secret to being a manifester, then in order to manifest, you have to, oh, Tracy Lee likes this. I'll take it further then. In order to be a manifester, you have to be the facilitator of causation. Whatever it is that causes that outcome, are you facilitating that? Because if you're not, you lose your right to complain about it not being in your life. If you're not willing to play the role of facilitator, and all manifestation needs facilitation, right? That's how it occurs. So now here's the lesson. The lesson is that quite often people can be the facilitators of the very things they don't want, right? So they're facilitating the appearance of something they actually don't want. It's like, well, then you have to withdraw. You can't wish it away. You've got to give up your commitment to playing the role of facilitator. You're the facilitator of that being there. So it's a great lesson, and I can't wait to hear the conversation that's stirred up about this in class tomorrow and possibly even tonight.
Well, you're going to hear my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you don't want to hear my take on it.
Of course I want to hear your take.
Oh, good. Thank you. So
wouldn't it be funny if I just turned on really loud Bon Jovi right after I told you I really wanted to hear your version?
No, that would not be funny. I would have to go, well, that was Glenn Morshower. All right. So here's my take. I think back to almost 22 years ago, when God snatched me off of a bar stool and whatever miraculous thing occurred in my life that made me stop drinking and get into recovery. And I remember sitting in 12-step meetings, and there were some very, very wealthy people that would come to these meetings that I was going to, showing up in Bentleys and Porsches and Beamers and all these nice cars. And you could just smell money in some of these rooms. And then, of course, there were people like me with zero money at the bottom and all of that. And I can remember
Does zero money have a smell?
Oh, it can, yes. But
okay.
So I'm sitting there and I'm watching these people. I'm thinking, I want that. I want what they have. I want that in my life for me. And of course, look, as you recover and you get better and you allow God in and you allow these things to occur, things change. Your perspective changes. I think my perspective changes in life incrementally every day.
Mm-hmm.
But so I do know this. There's a saying in recovery, and it's God did for me what I was unable to do for myself. I was always able to make a lot of money, always had this ability to make a lot of money. But when I got sober, I suddenly lost that ability. I couldn't figure it out. And everything I was trying to do to make a lot of money again wasn't working. And they were things that had made a lot of money in the past, but they just stopped working. And I truly believe that had I made a lot of money back then, I wouldn't be sober today. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it.
You think you would have been hypnotized by the cash?
I don't know what would have happened. It probably would have sent me back out drinking again. I don't know. But, I think about things like that. Like, yes, I believe that we can facilitate and manifest things into our life. But I also believe that there's the God side of it, that God's like, wait a minute, you're not ready for that. It's not your time yet. I do believe that. I believe that there is a power way greater than me and far more intelligent than me that's got my back, so to speak.
You know, you have wholehearted agreement from me
I know.
on that.
I
So when
love
I
this dude
said
right here.
you've got to become the facilitator, right? So facilitation is not the creation, right? The creation is moving through your facilitation.
Mm,
So, you know, we have a role in it. It's not like we get to sit on the couch eating bonbons and then watch all
right.
these miracles unfold in our life.
No,
I
you're
really
right.
believe that we are asked by the heavens, what are you going to do about it there, kiddo? What are you going to do? Because I'm willing to work through you, but you can't just sit there on your duff. There's a reason I gave you legs and arms and a
Yep.
mouthpiece and ears to listen with and a brain to decipher and discern with
Yep.
and spend some time thinking about how you're showing up. Really think about it. How are you showing up? And I'm not asking you, Ken, I'm asking everybody. I'm asking you, me, everybody here tonight, anyone that watches this on replay, how are you showing up? Because the extent to which you show up, that's your facilitation
Yeah.
of things in your life. Are you a part time facilitator? Are you a lazy facilitator? Ingratitude, Josh says. Yeah. Here, here.
Look at Jamie Green giving you top billing all of a sudden. She changed the name of our show.
Yeah. Well,
Huh. I
I
don't know
didn't
how I
even
feel about
secretly
that.
ask her to do that, but I would have given her 100 just a Benjamin to do it, just to watch it get your goat.
I'm not sure how I feel
Okay,
about
look what Tracy Lee said, right? I liked what you said about how you don't get to complain if you don't facilitate. Well,
it. I
here's the
agree.
thing, Tracy Lee, that was my point is, you know, complaining is something champions don't do. They just don't do. They acknowledge perhaps that something's a little off, but that's an observation. That's not a complaint. They're observing, I see this,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that, and I'm going to
Yep.
do something about it. But if you're complaining, the thing you're complaining about, let's just stop right now and look at your role as a facilitator. And then you'll realize, oh my gosh, this thing you seem to not want in your life, you're playing the primary role in it being in your life, the primary role. And that if you remove this, and then sometimes this and this, it might be two or three things, but usually it's one thing that's askew in some way. And if
Yep.
we remove that commitment, then the thing we're not crazy about goes away. Why? Because you're not there to facilitate it. Right? If every one of you stopped watering your indoor plants, they wouldn't maybe die. They would die. There's no
Yeah.
maybe to it. They would die because you're watering them is you playing the role of facilitator. I've never seen it rain indoors. Right? I mean, I suppose after a storm rips open a house, then it rains indoors, but typically indoors means absence of rain. So you're
Yes.
going to have to, and here's the other thing. If you put it in a dark closet, Ken, I know you know this, but I'm just going over this thought. So put a plant in a dark closet and still water it, but give it nothing, then it will also die. So, as the steward of its life and being a good facilitator, we want to position the plant relative to a nearby window that gives it the sunshine that it needs and the
Yep.
water that it needs. And now we've played the role of a quality facilitator, and then we tend to get quality results. But if you don't do that, then don't be surprised when your plant turns yellow, then brown, and then dies because your facilitation game is off. So if you don't have something in your life that you want, I'm telling you, go to your facilitation game. Look there.
It's
Don't look to blame other people or circumstances. Just look at what am I doing to facilitate its appearance? Write this down, please. Its appearance, and or what am I doing to facilitate its perhaps disappearance? You don't want it anymore? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like you don't want it anymore. It actually looks like you want it anymore. Why? Based on the actions of the facilitator.
Yep.
And when people ask me, what can I do? But well, what your actions tell the story of is that you're content with this being here and you're looking to elongate your stay with it. So if you change the role of the facilitator, you will change what comes and goes in and out of your life.
I think, and I've seen this meme wherever, Facebook, Instagram, people are going around complaining about the results they didn't get for the work they didn't do.
Well, there you have it.
Right? Don't complain about the results you didn't get for the work you didn't do. And listen, I got, can I tell a quick little story? I'd
like you to tell a long one just to pay me back for my long-windedness.
So in my first book, Walls of Wisdom, Turning Pain into Profit, I talked about when I first got into sales. And by the way, if you haven't shared this out yet, we will shame you into doing so. But so I told this story. I was in sales, and I was a 1099 subcontractor, free to make my own hours, do whatever I wanted to do. I had a district manager above me in this company, though, that cared about my success, because if I made money, he made money, right? And
just clarify something for me. Is a district manager, is that someone who, for example, manages a district?
Correct. Yes.
All right.
His district happened to be Northern Ohio. Okay. So you
didn't even smile. I'm sorry. You didn't even smile.
Well, I'm trying to stay.
You're like, shut up and let me tell this story.
Trying to remember where I was. Okay, so his name is Dan Fink, and Dan actually, like, he's like, look, if you make 20 phone calls a day or knock on 50 doors, you'll get results. Eventually, every blind squirrel finds a nut. You just got to go out there and make it happen and work and blah, blah, blah. So I went out and I did it, and I made a lot of money in the first month. And then this fear set in, something set in. I don't know. Laziness. I don't know. Excuse me. But I bought this. I had a Nintendo 64 and I was playing Super Mario, which was pretty important to me. And so Dan was calling me, and I had an answering machine, and he's leaving me messages, and I'm not returning his calls because I'm not going out and working. I'm not reporting my numbers every day like I was supposed to. I'm not doing anything except for sitting at home, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, and playing Super Mario.
Boy, that's a winning strategy right there, Ken.
I know. And I'm supposed to be in a suit and tie out making cold calls and, networking and doing the deal. Well, so he lived about 80 miles from where I lived. So I'm like, he's never going to drive here. He's too busy, makes too much money to, so I'm like sitting there and I'm playing Super Mario, and I had a gravel driveway, and I hear wheels on the gravel driveway coming down the driveway toward my house. And I'm like, what the heck? And I get up and I peek, because it was all windows all the way around. I peek out and I'm like, oh no, it's Dan Fink. He's here? What's he doing here? I'm like, oh my God. My brain goes, what am I going to tell him? And I'm like trying to get past this one window. I know he saw me, and I hit the floor, and I'm crawling back over to where my cigarette's burning in an ashtray, and I'm playing Super Mario. And I'm like, he can see me. What am I going to do? My hair is standing straight up. I look like Don King. I'm like, what am I going to tell this guy? And he's like pounding on the door, knock, knock, knock. And I'm like, oh God, no. And I go, and he's knocking again, knock, knock, knock. And I'm like, I open up the door. I go, "Hey, Dan, what are you doing here?" It sucked. It sucked so
And
bad. He
meanwhile,
goes,
behind you, da 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 da
so
da.
I'm like, dude, I'm
Funny
oh
stuff,
my
baby.
God. That's funny, dude. So he goes, why are you not returning my calls? And I'm like, I've been I've been a little busy. And he goes, I'm coming in. He pushes his way inside my house. He goes, go get in the shower and shave and get ready. And I go,
And
for
steps
what?
over the line of cocaine.
Oh,
Right.
there was none of that. But
Don't
he's
get any
like,
cocaine on your shoes.
I
I'm
go,
gonna go shower.
so I go, why do you want me? He goes, you're going with me. I have appointments and we're going to cold call. You're getting the hell out of this house. You're going to work. Damn it. You have too much potential. And he made me go out and work. Later on that day, I did get shot by a shotgun with him. He did not get shot. I did. Do you want to hear that story?
We'll be right back after these words with our sponsors, from our sponsors, with yet another episode of Peaceful Times with Ken.
No, we're chasing down one of his clients, a construction guy, and we're like standing on the side of the road, and in the background, 200 yards away, is a shooting range, and somebody's shooting a shotgun.
Missed
And
the target and hit you.
It came through the forest. I'm standing on the side of the road, standing way back there. I don't know. I'm a quarter of a mile away from them. And all of a sudden, I'm looking out at Lake Erie because we're up on Lake Erie. I'm looking on the side of this road. I'm looking at Lake Erie, and all of a sudden across, and I had thin dress pants on, the back of my legs just sprayed me. The pellets from the shotgun. It was really, really painful. It felt like 1,000 bees just stung the backs of my legs. It was crazy. But anyway, so Dan Fink, thank you. He got me to get out of hiding and start working. And it was a valuable lesson to, and I didn't play Mario Brothers for quite a while after that, but that's funny that you know.
And you bring up an interesting point. So, how much hiding do you reckon is going on in the world? And the hiding I'm referring to is hiding from what you might otherwise be.
Yes. Everybody's hiding from what they are. Not everybody. I shouldn't say that. Most people are hiding from their true self, their true potential. What does this mean? Brian Eric and Ken Walls is one.
Perhaps R1.
I don't know what that means.
That you're all the same prototype. That all of you ultimately will live long enough to be shot in the back of your calves with a shotgun.
It hurts. Even from a couple hundred yards away, it hurts.
I can't imagine that it would feel good.
It hurts. I mean, I don't know how there were little red welts all over the back of my legs. It hurt.
Hey, if y'all ain't doing anything today, why don't we schedule a root canal and then let's see if we can shoot each other in the calves with a shotgun.
I know. That's what it was like. So everyone needs a Dan Fink. Amen. That is, you know what? That's what we do, right? We kick people in the butt and tell them, get your head out of your butt and start moving. Do you guys think that people fear success more than failure? What say ye?
I say no. However, I get the point, and let me clarify. It's not the success they're fearful of. It's the price of success. It's not the success. It's the cost of success. Yep. Because one of the known costs of success is separation from the herd. And there is great comfort brought about by being average. There's no judgment on it. I'm not offering any kind of judgment. So
I'll judge.
Don't read anything into that. No, but what I'm saying is As long as you live an average life, you'll always have plenty of company. When you choose to live
Amen.
a successful life, you'll have less company, and you'll actually have your successment tax that will be included, and that will result in a disconnection from certain relationships because there's not a match anymore. And it's not that you think you're better than, that doesn't exist at all, but rest assured people will claim that that's what's happened is so and so has gone off and gotten successful. They are too big for their britches. This is one of the worst things that was ever said to us as children, as though there were only one set of britches that were issued to all of humankind, and that when we outgrow them, we should experience some discomfort and stay in the shape of the britches we were assigned, instead of understanding that you'll change your britches many times in your life, plus
Yep.
or minus, depending on what kind of shape your life is in. And when you shape up your life, it's not so surprising that the size of your britches does change, just like it's supposed to, right? It just means that you've changed your life, you've honed and refined, and things fit differently. So,
There, there's also the and you and I've talked about this before too. You know, if you are raised in a family of, let's say you're raised by parents who have a net worth of $100 million, okay, and you're raised from birth to graduation through college, um, in that environment, if you don't go out and continue to build wealth for yourself, you'll be looked down on, and you'll feel like internally, if I don't achieve these levels and do everything that I watched them do to achieve these levels, then you'll start judging yourself
yeah,
too,
that's called
right?
environmental accountability.
Exactly. And so you're programmed, and a lot of people are programmed to be in poverty. They're programmed. That's what they grew up in, and so they're carrying this program. So there's this. I just heard, I don't know, somewhere a couple days ago, or whenever it was, that women who are, and this is a fact, and this is specifically women. Not, I'm not. This has nothing to. I'm not being. This isn't to be mean or
Misogynistic,
anything, huh?
misogynistic.
No. So, yes, I'm not being, I'm just, this is something that's a fact. Women have closer relationships typically with their friends than men do.
Well,
There's
sure,
just
because they're
more of
heart
an
centric
emotional,
instead of ego driven.
yes. So there's more of an emotional attachment in those relationships. And that is why women who are overweight have such a difficult time losing weight, because they're afraid internally, unconsciously, they're fearful that they'll lose their friends if they lose weight. There's a fear that they'll lose their friends if they lose the weight. And so because their friends are used to them at this certain in this certain way, and this is something I just heard. I don't even know if it's scientifically true. It
It
makes
is
sense.
scientifically so.
Huh?
It is scientifically so. I'm being very polite and chilling in the weeds, but when you're done, I will chime in. But what you just said is the truth.
I believe it to be the truth. And I think that that's what stops people from success. It's the crabs in the bucket. We get around this, that we're programmed to believe in a certain, whether you want to say socioeconomic, financially, or spiritually. You were raised Jewish, you were raised Muslim, so you have to be Jewish, you have to be Muslim, you have to be Christian, you have to. And so I think that people have a difficulty thinking for themselves out of fear of losing relationships or being judged by their immediate circle that they've been in their entire lives.
May I offer, out of total agreement with you?
Please.
Total. Did you hear that, Ken? Total.
I heard that.
May I
That's
offer,
amazing.
in addition to my total agreement, may I offer that it's not about being overweight. it can be overweight, underweight, or
Yes.
average weight. What they're fearful of is the price tag placed upon change.
Yep.
That's the thing, because one of the things that humans seem to crave is they have an intrinsic need to assess and label.
Mm.
To assess and label. So I'm going to watch, I'm going to eyeball you, oh person I just met, and I'm going to, as quickly as I can, place you into a jar because I can see what's going on here, and I'm going to stick a label on it. And then I get to decide, is that a label I like or possibly even love? But I've identified it, and I now know what that is. So once you've been placed into a jar, societally speaking, then when you decide that you don't belong in that jar, perhaps you've been inappropriately labeled, or maybe you just don't like being labeled at all, period, whatever. But people have gotten used to you being this, whatever it is. Let's
Yep.
say you're chronically unemployed. Don't you know your family gets used to that? It doesn't mean they like it. It means that that's what they're familiar with. Joe is, Bobby, David, Barbara, anyone, they're chronically unemployed. And they get used to that because it gives the family someone to judge for being in that condition. And that judgment allows them to feel better about themselves because they have someone to always talk smack about. The same is true if someone is the black sheep of the family for whatever it is. Maybe it's drug usage, maybe they've spent time in jail.
Yep.
Whatever their reputation is, as much as the family may hate it, what they also love about it is that it gives them somebody in the world to feel better than. Now,
Yep.
for the record, there are very few family members that are ever going to come out and admit that that's true, but it is true.
It is
What's
true.
interesting is you can prove it's truth because when the person who is being judged decides to do an about face and clean up their life and really start hitting on all 8 cylinders, the family on one level is thrilled that apparently things are happening, but there is a huge part of them who are actually thrown by it because they can't point a finger at this dysfunctional person anymore because they're no longer dysfunctional.
Right.
And so now they don't know what to do with themselves. This is why whenever someone cleans up their act, Ken, and I'm not telling you this like you don't know it, you do know it. Whenever someone cleans up their act, it rocks the whole family mobile. It's not like that's an insignificant event, and it only applies to the person who's cleaning up their act. When a person in a family system cleans up their act, the whole mobile goes into chaos while people don't know what to do with the newfound healthy member of the family. What are we supposed to do with that? So change of any kind can prove to be very lonely. And so there's comfort in numbers. And as long as you don't change, you'll always have the people in your life who've agreed to be in your life with you being exactly as you are. But boy, you're fixing to rock. We love that word fixing here in Texas. You've learned that now that you're down here.
I have. I love
You're fixing to rock somebody's world as soon as you start to make changes in your life. And it's interesting. You can threaten people without ever threatening them just by becoming a more aligned human being. When you get things together and you get on a roll and things are running smoothly and you're following principles and making healthy choices and basically just doing the job of being a healthy human being, that will create disconnection and a lot of behind the doors chatter about you on the part of others. And we just have to learn to ignore that and just keep doing what we feel called to do. Just keep making great decisions. But you're going to get hamstrung if you ever think that you're going to have everybody be in support of that, because it's just not the way it works. You're going to wind up having people that talk poorly of you because you're actually doing better. Maybe you're earning more money and that silently pisses them off or whatever. So it's interesting. I just think we got to mind our own business a lot and just make good decisions that bring about a wonderful life.
This is Greg Walker I have up on the screen right now. Love Greg. He's from
Greg from
Columbus.
Clubhouse.
well, he's from Columbus, Ohio, my
Yeah.
hometown. And Greg and I've been friends for years. And here's what's crazy: Greg grew up literally in the ghetto. Like he grew up in severe poverty, and he now I don't know if he still owns, but he had like 53 or 55 Subway restaurants that
Mm-hmm.
he worked and worked and clawed and scratched his way to get to his first restaurant where he could get his first one, and then he just kept building and building and building and building. So he's done very well in life.
Mm-hmm.
But he had to, I mean, he had a poverty mindset family, and I know this because Greg and I have talked in great detail and depth. You've got to leave all that behind, and you just said it. Like you've got to whatever it is that you is on your heart, whatever that is. It could be like our dear sister, I love Patricia Guygett. She's a world renowned artist that her artwork's been in the Vatican and the Louvre, and she's incredible. Nobody says, "Hey, I'm going to go out and make a living as an artist and have, all this stuff and she's done it, and she's won these international awards. You've got to leave all that chatter that you were just talking about from the people. It's the crabs in a bucket. When a crab tries to get out of the bucket, the other crabs reach up and pull him back down because they
Right.
want him back down there with them where it's
It's
comfortable.
it's their way of saying, "Hey, dude, you're one of us."
Yes. Yes. And I think that that's really, honestly, dude, I mean, I've interviewed 500 and some people on my show, and I think that that's really, really common that other people will hold you back more than anything else. What you're thinking other people are thinking, or they actually are saying those bad things to you. That's what holds people back more than anything, I believe.
Well, nobody can hold you back, but they certainly can invite you to allow them to do that.
Tracy
Did you
wants,
see that Greg has 15 siblings?
yeah. And I don't want to, I'm not going to put he can tell you, type it in the comments, but I know some of his siblings, um they've been through it, and Greg didn't. He came out and really made something with his life. And here's the coolest part about Greg is he doesn't see it as, look at what I've done for me in my life. He sees it as, look what I've done to help all of these families and people that work with me in my restaurants, and I help their families, and he gives them Christmas bonuses and just really cool stuff that he helps so many other people.
And all we want is a Subway Club out of it. It's a little 6-inch Subway Club, Greg. It's not much
Right.
for a
Right.
grown man to ask, is it?
White,
Toasted with
whiter
provolone
wheat,
cheese, please.
whiter wheat,
Wheat bread, toasted provolone cheese.
provolone cheese. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful. Greg
Double
will
meat.
actually send you one.
Double meat. I always
Dude,
tell them double
you're
meat.
pushing it.
Double
You're
meat.
pushing it.
Double meat.
Dude, I think if we could spend the rest of our lives conveying one message to all of humanity, I think that it would be, well, I don't think we could do one, but I couldn't. I'd have to start with less of you, more of God, and then stop listening to all the BS. Quit listening to the chatter. Do what you want to do. The one we talked about, my buddy, and you met him, Ramey, um, who he was a billionaire. He has all the stuff, right?
Condolences to his family.
Yeah, yes. And
What,
he's no
what were
longer
you saying?
here.
Though? Finish your thought. He has all the stuff.
He has all the toys, the big jumbo jet. He has all, all the stuff. And but yet now he doesn't. He's no longer with us. He's no longer here. He has moved to the other side. And one of the things that I do know about him is he seemed to genuinely want to inspire and motivate and help other people. He really did. I could see that in what he was trying to accomplish, trying to get people to think bigger. Hey, there's Josh Whitaker. You know Josh.
I do.
Hey Josh, how you doing, brother?
Good evening to
So
you,
yeah,
Josh.
yeah.
Yeah, my condolences to you, to his family, and the toys will outlive us all. Right? The toys are still here, but we don't get to take them. I know that's not news to anybody, and that doesn't
Right.
mean that toys are not enjoyable to have, but probably not the number one priority. Probably not. If we're coming from True Health, how many toys do you have?
Right.
Um, I mean it's nice, but that's about all that could be said for me at least.
Yeah.
Um, I think the content. We were talking in your home last night, Ken, that the content of your heart and what is true wealth. And I want to say what I said in your living room last night, that my definition of true wealth um, has nothing to do with cash. And having a bank account is nice in terms of the options that it makes available to you.
Right.
Um, you have fewer have tos in your life if you're financially set. You can do. You'll have an easier time designing your life and having it be what you want it to be. But true wealth is really just enjoying being who it is you are and not wishing. This is what got Jill's attention last night, not wishing you were somewhere else or someone else.
There you go.
If you can enjoy being who it is you are and find yourself not envying anybody else's situation, you don't want to be somebody else and you don't want to be anywhere else. You don't
Right.
wish you had somebody else's home. You don't wish you had their car. You don't wish you had their bank account, because you got to remember that you have fallen in love more than likely, not with something the way it is, but with something the way it's being presented. So you're falling in love with a presentation. And this is
Yep.
one of the reasons a lot of relationships don't work out, is usually when people are falling in love, they're falling in love with a presentation. So people are, I mean, who do you know, Ken, that goes out of their way to make sure that their worst available version of themselves is on vivid display on night number one on the first date? I want to make
Right.
sure I go to the lowest me there is. And that's
Yeah.
how we're going to start. People just don't do that. Even the sickos don't do that.
Mm-mm.
So people are really standing behind the facade of everything's running smoothly and
Yep.
whatever. And then what happens is you've got two people now that are masquerading as something they're not. And
Right.
those are the two people that fall in love. They're falling in love with that presentation. And then after a few months, you just can't maintain the facade, and who someone really is leaks through. And the other one looks over and goes, "Well, you're not at all who I fell in love with." And the other one goes, "Yeah, no kidding. And neither are you." And then you
Right.
go, "Wow." So I guess if we had been more honest and less presentational in our getting to know one another-ness of the relationship,
Right.
then we would have fared much better. So I tell you what I wish for everybody in the world is that they would just stop and do a quick assessment of how much good there is in their life. And even if you stumble across a couple of things that are currently on the rough side, if you'll look, I'll promise you there's more good than bad.
Amen.
You're going to have a lot more that you could stop. When we turn this off tonight, we will both get up out of our chairs
Yeah.
Right? Unless something happens to either one of us during the broadcast, but the strong mathematical likelihood is when we finish, we'll stand up and I'll go walk down these stairs.
Yep.
And what I understand is that Christopher Reeve would have emptied his bank account to do just that and only that.
Yep.
Just to be able to get up out of a chair and go and walk down a set of stairs. And with ease, not with it being any special effort, just get up and go do it. And at the base of the stairs, if I can simply remember that I've just won the lottery. Why? Because I can effortlessly walk downstairs. Man, am I ever grateful for that. So how many things are you grateful for tonight? And this can be made to be a religious story, but it's neither religious nor is it non-religious. It's just the truth about life. Gratitude is
Right.
not a religious concept. You can be an atheist and still be in gratitude.
Yep.
But to be thankful for what is really cool about your life. And then think about this. Have you guys ever stopped to be grateful for what isn't? So many people think in terms of they're grateful for what is. How about being grateful for what isn't?
Mm.
You know, there wasn't a bomber that flew over Dallas, Texas today and dropped bombs on a bunch of people. And I'm really grateful for that. Right? There are a lot of things that are not going on right now in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. So I think true in-depth gratitude is gratitude that expresses itself both for what is and for what is not.
I'm a huge fan of Reverend Ike and his teachings, and I'm friends with his son Xavier, who's an amazing, amazing human being. And Reverend Ike, in one of his teachings, he talks about, when Jesus had to, a few loaves of bread and fish and had to feed thousands of people and had if you looked at it from the physical realm, there was no way possible. And Jesus didn't say, Father, please give me the ability to feed. I mean, could you look down here, Dad? There's a lot of people. I mean, please help me out here. I'm kind of in a jam. I need your help, please. That's not how he's
low on fish.
we're a
little low on bread.
I could use some yeast about right now. But he didn't. That's not the approach he took. The approach that he took was, thank you, Father. Thank you. He just said thank you because he knew that it was going to be there. And he said thank you. And it appeared. And he was able to do it. I don't think personally that magically, like an I Dream of Jeannie episode, like 5,000 loaves of bread and 2,000 fish showed up. I think it was something different that happened. But
they did call it the Garden of Eden, as in Barbara Eden.
That's true.
So there has to have been a connection there somewhere, Ken.
Perhaps. Maybe.
You are a tough smile to get tonight.
You gotta smile. I think that people, if people would, and that's another thing that I've learned, and you've helped me learn this, man. I've learned a lot of this from you, but instead of praying and asking God or trying to, you've talked about this, like you pray like you're trying to direct God. I forget how you put it, but it's really
well. You're giving God a honeydew list.
Yeah.
I mean, really, is that the best you can come up with? That defines my spirituality. I'm really good on designing honeydew lists. How about just a simple, profound thank you? Just thank you. This is a good moment. This is a good place. I just learned something from Greg, what he just said about being his 9th month out of a wheelchair after 4 years of being in a wheelchair. I did not know. I knew about all of Greggy's surgeries, but I
Yeah.
did not know that he's up and about walking, and 4 years in a
Praise
wheelchair.
God.
That's a long time, man.
Yeah, it is, man. Praise God, Greg. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. That's so awesome. He's been through it, man. I don't even know what, Greg, you can tell everybody what it was. I forget what it was that caused that with your issues you had. I don't remember what it was called. But thank God for that. That's amazing.
Well, when he puts it up there, you can highlight it.
Yeah. So I want to go back just for those watching that weren't here when we first started. Excuse me. Make sure you go to Apple TV and watch Glenn's newest television program that's on Apple TV. It's amazing. It's called Manhunt. Glenn plays the president of the United States, Andrew Johnson, who took over after Lincoln was assassinated. And it is an absolutely fantastic mini series. Is that what it's called? 7 episodes.
Mini series. Yes.
And dude, you are so good in this show. Like, it's incredible. And Glenn, I said to Glenn last night, because my mother-in-law's here from Ohio, and me and my wife we're all sitting around talking. I said, dude, come on, do the voice. Because Glenn created this voice. Nobody had a recording of Andrew Johnson speaking.
That's right.
It's pretty good. You're not gonna do it, are you? Look, JD Walters is on here.
I saw that Jay had stepped in the house. Good to see you.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, Ken, did you see my announcement? Excuse me. Did you see my announcement on Facebook tonight?
No.
Take a peeky poo at it.
Okay, let me get
now, that won't be a violation to just show a still card. I want you to read it out loud because it's really special to me.
Hold on. Let me get this. Move back over to this.
It's on my page. It's also on the Extra Miler.
Is it on your personal page?
It is.
You should change your profile picture to something with me.
Well, how do you really feel?
I'm just kidding. Is this 2 hours ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, do you want me to share it?
Yeah, read it out loud.
Let me share it.
It really touches my heart.
It's such a, hold on, let me share screen.
This is not about Manhunt. This is about Drive-In.
Oh, the thing I have is Manhunt, but
well, you can show them the photo from Manhunt. There it is.
For those of you who have Apple TV, enjoy our new mini series, Manhunt. I play Andrew Johnson, the 17th president of the United States, who took office when Lincoln was assassinated.
And now, under that,
let me love it. Attention, all my LA-based friends. The very first film of my career, entitled Drive-In, filmed in 1975, will be on the big screen at the New Beverly Cinema tomorrow night, Monday, April 29th, for one showing only at 7:30 p.m. Are you serious?
Keep reading.
This is one of Quentin Tarantino's. Am I sharing my screen, by the way? Are you guys all
Yeah, you are. It's
okay.
Kind of cut off at the base there. You can come
here,
up.
let me go full screen. There we go.
Can you raise it up a little bit, Ken? There you go. Now they can see it. Okay.
Yeah, I need to. Well, it's not working out. Okay. So this is one of Quentin Tarantino's favorite cult films. He told me so himself during an hour-long visit in an Austin, Texas coffee shop 10 years ago. The New Beverly Cinema and on Beverly Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90036. This is where my on-screen acting career began at the tender age of 16. I have the lead in the film, so there will be plenty of opportunities to laugh out loud at my strawberry mop top. Check it out if you can. Enjoy. Dude, that's freaking awesome. And there's Glenn right there in the middle. And that gal right there, what's her name?
Lisa Lamole. And the young boy to my left is Gary Cavanero, who played my 12-year-old brother, whose name was Little Bit. And he was also the catcher in the film with Walter Matthau and Tatum O'Neal called The Bad News Bears.
Wow.
So that will be playing on the big screen in LA tomorrow night. And I had originally planned to fly to LA to be a part of it. But with this film coming up that I'm directing, boy, long way. Look at those two pictures. Long way from all that hair to the next picture below.
I know. Wow.
But I'm getting ready to direct a movie, and we're shooting in Lufkin, Texas. And I'm going down to Lufkin to do a big meet and greet, as well as be a guest speaker at the university down there. So I just can't go to LA this weekend, but there will be a lot of my friends who will be in the audience tomorrow night, and I'm excited. I so wish I could be there, but it's okay. I think what we're going to do is talk with the Majestic Theater here in Dallas, Ken, because you'll be in on this. The Majestic is playing movies like, for example, they're playing That's My Cousin, Ken. Say hi to Lee. That's my cousin.
Hey, Lee. Was she talking about me or you?
Well, of course she's talking about you, Ken. But they're playing Fast Times at Ridgemont High on the 11th of May. And Judge Reinhold, who, of course, was one of the stars of that film, will be there to talk and do a Q&A with the audience. So that's going to be fun at the Majestic.
Are you going to that?
Well, I am going to it. I talked with Judge this week and told him I would be there. That's a Saturday night. And what I want to do is talk with the folks at the Majestic about screening drive-in, and that I would be happy to come and do a Q&A with them following. Awesome. You know, or who knows, maybe they want to show an episode of 24, and we could do that. But it's fun for the audience because they like to ask questions.
When is that again? May what?
May the 11th. So circle these two dates. May the 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt from Manhunt will be at the Majestic.
Oh my God.
He's not doing a Manhunt thing. He's doing his stand-up act. So we're going to buy tickets to that and then talk with Patton backstage because of our connection with Manhunt. And then the following weekend, I'm going to go back again to see Judge. And anyway, you're invited to one or both of those events, but it's going to be a good time had by all.
I'm in on both. I mean, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, dude. Are you kidding me? That was my jam.
That was your jam. So you know who Judge Reinhold is.
Of course. Yeah.
And he went on to do, all the Beverly Hills Cop movies and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah. Greg said to watch that and here you just posted about it.
Yeah. That's why I mentioned it, is here. Greg is talking about driving. And I thought, Greg, if you only knew, man.
Yeah. Look,
hey, there's Justin.
Justin, my brother from another mother.
Talking about Jeff Spicoli.
Yeah, I can fix it, man.
If
my dad's a refrigerator repairman.
Say it again. I'm sorry, Ken.
He says, I can fix it, man. My dad's a refrigerator repairman.
I love when Spicoli goes, well, the way I look at it, I was thinking, Mr. Hand, that it's our time. Because he talks about it being my time, but he goes, it's really more our time.
That's so funny,
How
dude.
about his arrival when he shows up in a van and the door opens and there's this massive weed cloud
It
that comes
comes
out. He's got
pouring
to
out.
come tumbling out.
Oh my gosh. So funny. So funny. Holy crap. Yeah, dude, I'm in, man. I'm in. I'd love to do that. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Both days. You know,
So
the
Patton is
third
on
we
Thursday. He's on Thursday of
well
this week, and
May
then
the
May the 3rd.
that's Friday.
Right. Wait. Right. I'm sorry. You're right. Friday, May 3rd
And that and we're judges at that event.
in the daytime.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that's a
Right.
big event. Hey, let's talk about that. Ken and I are the celebrity judges at a national speak off, and they're in
We
the
are.
regional portion of it. They're in regionals now,
Yeah.
and we're going to judge them as speakers this
And
week.
and on Thursday, I'll be speaking, and I don't even know how long it is though.
At the
I should know
eWomen's
that.
Network, isn't that correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I
It's
told you there would be
exciting.
values in getting the surgery, Ken. Right? Look how quickly you got
Oh my
recognized.
god.
Like
Oh
right
my
on the
god.
heels of the surgery, boom, and you're a speaker. Awesome. Good for you.
Oh my god.
Good
Oh,
for you.
that's funny. Well, I'm gonna talk to because it was already kind of prearranged because I think Tony thought you were. Didn't you tell her you were going to be out of town or something? Or I don't remember, but
I don't know. We're talking about the lovely Tony Caruso, are we not?
she's so awesome, dude.
Who runs
That woman is
eWomen's Network
amazing.
here. She's a real
Yeah.
go-getter because she used to be in charge of all things good in Los Angeles, and then she moved here to Dallas, and once again she's in charge of all things good. That's what happens.
She is. Look, Sean. It's so. What shoes do you have on right now?
My checkered Vans.
They were in my office last night. That's so funny.
There they are.
There they are.
Spicoli style. I'm always wearing my checkered Vans.
I love it. I got to get
love
some
it.
of those.
Well, it when people see you in them, it just brings a smile, because I think there's an age when grown men stop wearing things like Vans and they put away their skateboards. And you know what I really get off to, Ken, is wearing my checkered Vans and skipping down the street. When's the last time you saw anyone north of 50 years of age skipping? The answer is never, because you don't see it, which is why I
Wow.
friggin' love to do it. I love
Wow.
it.
I know you do. I've been out in public with you.
When I was skipping,
Yeah.
I've been a professional skipper for years. Alan Hale did it.
Who's Alan Hale?
He played opposite Gilligan, the skipper. He's the skipper. You just fell right into that one, amigo.
Dude, I was literally getting ready to Google him.
Well, look him up. His name was Alan Hale Jr.
I know who he is.
Yeah, but look him up. I want you to.
I don't need to look him
In fact, hey, test me. I swear, I won't even consult my phone. Test me on the cast members.
Oh, okay. Well, you already failed Alan Hale.
What? No.
Yes, you did.
I did not. He was the skipper.
So help me, you did. You failed. I'm sorry.
I said Alan Hale Jr.
You didn't say Junior.
I did. I did. Did you not hear me come back and clarify?
I did not hear that.
You would give anything to just have me be wrong, wouldn't you? Okay. How about Bob Denver as Gilligan?
Oh my God.
How about Dawn Wells as Mary Ann? Let me see who else.
Hold on. Let me look up
Natalie Schaefer as Mrs. Howell.
Gilligan.
Russell Johnson as the professor.
Gilligan's Island
And
cast.
of course, Mr. Howell was played by none other than Jim Backus himself,
on.
who was known for being the voice of Mr. Magoo.
Hey, were you ever in Gilligan's Island?
I wasn't. I wasn't making movies at that time, buddy. I was 6.
Oh, oops.
That was 10 years before my first film.
Wow. Okay, so who was Marianne?
Dawn Wells,
Yeah. Who was Ginger?
Tina Louise,
Very good. The professor?
Russell Johnson.
I'm
I'm not looking, I promise. These are just things that I know because I know.
Jonathan Kincaid.
Jonathan Kincaid?
Yes.
Well, he wasn't a series regular.
Well, you sure?
Who was Jonathan Kincaid?
Rory Calhoun.
Is Rory Calhoun, are these actor names or character names?
Both. Jonathan Kincaid played Rory Calhoun played Jonathan
Kincaid. Okay.
Yeah.
Those were guest star roles.
Oh, I got you.
You only had the 6.
Okay, how about Bunny?
You had 7 series regulars on Gilligan's Island.
How
You had
about Bunny?
Gilligan and the Skipper. You had Dawn Wells, Ginger and Marianne, right? You had Mr. and Mrs. Howell, and then you had the professor.
What about Bunny?
And for the first 2 years, she wasn't a series regular. But for the first year or two, maybe it was the first year only, they said, and the rest, instead of the professor and Marianne, which didn't happen originally.
Look,
they changed the song
because their name. Joe says because their names. That is so true.
Come on, Ken.
Look, who played the minnow?
It was the SS Minnow, and that was the ship.
It was.
How long was the tour scheduled for, Ken?
It was. Oh, you mean in the song?
This is entertainment, folks.
3 hour. It was a 3-hour tour.
It was a 3-hour tour. That's correct.
Thank you. I gotta be honest though. I saw Joe's. Saw Joe's answer, and
you stole it. Are you still doing that junior high school crap?
Dude, I'm being honest. Immediately,
Ken, the weather started getting rough.
Yeah, but in junior high, it took a suspension for me to be honest.
Well, it takes what it takes, my friend. You know, if not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. It was all about courage, even back then, dude.
Oh my gosh, that is.
You know, the ship set ground or on the shore of this uncharted desert isle with Gilligan and the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor.
Who played Eunice?
Eunice? Yes. Well, these are guest stars. I don't know. I don't know who played Eunice.
Yes, you do. I got to share my screen. You know. I know you know.
I don't remember the character of Eunice. Was it also Bob Denver doubling as a different person?
No, it was not. Natalie Schaefer.
Eunice was her first name?
I guess.
I said Natalie Schaefer, but I always just called her Mrs. Howell. Eunice. I even said Natalie Schaefer, but I never knew that was her first name. That's cool.
Oh, Mrs. Howell, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
good. God, look at that, dude. 1991. Wow.
What, when she passed away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Well, you know when Gilligan's Island was filmed, don't you?
In the 60s, 64 to 60. 64, it says here. So how long did it go on? How many? It was 3 years. Oh, six. No, it wasn't 64 to 92. This says 64 to 92, dude.
No, that means they were still doing TV movies about it up until 1992.
We
But
all
the theory-
called her lovely.
Yeah, Jim
Wow.
Backus, Mr. Howell called her Lovey. That
Oh,
was his
lovey.
That was his name. His
That's
nickname for her.
right. Dude, it's been so long since I've seen Gilligan's Island. Holy crap.
You know what?
I mean,
I think you should stay up and watch an episode of it, or better still, after we send everyone to bed tonight and we turn it off, we should do a screen share on a Zoom meeting and we'll watch an episode of Gilligan's Island.
Okay.
Boy, you seem thrilled.
I welcome to Ken Glenn. Google old shit live on Facebook. It's fun. This
It
is
is
fun. Just because Joe doesn't have a friend to hang out with on on a live stream and Google old
Wow.
stuff, he's got to try to
You will
make
go
us feel bad for his
You will
lack.
go from your lofty spiritual place down a rat hole of assault, won't you? No, Joe, good to see you, man.
You said down a rat hole of assault. That's funny. What do you call this? I mean, I call that shots fired.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, come on. Let's just call it what it is. Joe.
That one was like with a musket.
I know.
You know, that wasn't even a modern weapon. That was Joe Ingram with a musket.
Yeah.
He was, you can picture him there in Orange County, you know, packing it and getting ready to.
Right. That is so funny. Look. That's so funny.
Exactly. They could turn a coconut into a radio, but couldn't build a boat.
That is funny.
Yeah. And did you notice this, Greg? Did you notice in that show that every time they listened to the radio, it was at the exact second that an announcement was going to be made about them? They never turned it on and just heard random music. They never turned it on and heard a sporting event. They turned it on, and the second they did, and now this regarding the SS Minnow, I just thought that was a little too coincidental.
A little.
Carol Ann is saying good night. She's
Good night,
had enough
Carol
of Gilligan's
Ann.
Island.
I live my life in such a way that tomorrow I'm proud of my yesterday.
Yeah, somebody remembers that.
That's a Glenn Morshower quote.
That is.
Hey,
who
Glenn,
wrote that?
Glenn, I did.
Oh, you just did. Okay.
Yeah. We should tell everybody we have merch.
All right. Why don't you do that, Ken? I'm going to sit here and listen.
Hey, everybody, we have merch.
And you might say, what kind of merch? It's Ken and Glenn merch. If you just don't have enough of our antics in your life, then you can have our names all over your breakfast cereal bowls. You can have it on a mouse pad. You can have it on a pen, right? Tell them about it. Ken. They can get a pen, can't they?
No.
No, what can they get? Why don't you tell them, since you know?
I could, hey, Victoria, that's a great question. I would go in and try to order and see if they do. I don't know.
What does it say? Do you ship?
You can estimate
worldwide.
You can estimate the
before Tracy Lee goes, show her the merch, Ken. Show her the merch.
I'm showing the merch right now. Here it is. So you can get a notebook. You can get a tumbler. You can get a black coffee mug,
which Ken has actually sipped from.
Well, not the one that ships. And it says, come on with it.
Come on with it.
Come on with it. It's got the Ken and Glenn logo. So
I
you
think we
can,
need to do a whole thing on just merch.
we are
One
right
night.
now.
No,
Look,
now we are, but I'm saying we need to do a session just on merch.
well, and everybody needs a Ken and Glenn mouse pad. Let's just be real about that.
Right.
The hats
The
are
hat
great.
is the coolest thing we have, in my view.
It is. It's really, really a great hat. So, and then, in fact, hang on a minute, Glenn.
And make sure the young people know the hat does include one of those new stickers that you guys love to leave on your hats.
Yeah. Well,
When I was a kid, we removed them, but nowadays
yes.
everybody loves to keep the brand new sticker on their hat.
And we also have the Ken and Glenn very nice t-shirt. And to show you guys, let me stop sharing
Can I
here.
mention, Ken, something I found about the t-shirt? They're great to work on cars in because if you get an oil stain on it, you can't see it.
Perfect. Same with the hat.
Yeah.
Glenn.
Yeah.
Same with the hat. So ordering merch for Down Under. Beautiful.
There it is.
Cynthia, I would like to order one notebook, one coffee mug, and one hat autograph. Well, we don't ship them. You order them from the online store at kenandglenn.com/merch. And they get shipped from our supplier and directly to your home or wherever you want it shipped to. Maybe you want to ship it to your enemy's home, somebody that you don't like. You want to send them Ken and Glenn stuff to maybe inspire them to be a better human.
And for those who want to be closer to either Ken or Glenn's DNA, we're going to be adding to our merch list toenail clippings from Ken and Glenn. And
no, we took that off the thing.
Or did that make our bad ideas list?
I think that may have topped our bad ideas list. So look, Gail said yuck.
Yuck.
Yuck. Anyway, so look, Jay says you nailed it. That's
Jay
hilarious.
is one of the few guys I know who would have purchased that. If we had toenail clippings from Ken and Glenn available, Jay Walters would have purchased it just to have it on his shelf for the holidays so that people could say, hey, what's that? And he'd go, I got my buddy's toenails.
Oh, my God. Look, my niece Savannah loves Barry Sloan. Who's that?
Oh, how nice. Yes. From
Who's
Call
Barry?
of Duty.
Oh,
Nice.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, Barry's a good dude.
That's awesome.
He's a good dude.
That's awesome. So, Cynthia, maybe you want to bring your hat with you to the next there. Thank you, Joe. I was literally going to say that, and things are moving so fast. Yes, Cynthia, if you go to the website and get those items, bring anything you want to the next live event the next time you see us, and we will definitely. We did that for Josh. Josh brought his hat in, and we both signed it at the last live event. I did copy you because I'm literally thanking you because I was going to say that. So I don't know that that's a copy. I was repeating what you said. How about that?
Samesies, Ken. Samesies.
Yeah, samesies. These hats are awesome, though, aren't they?
They
dude?
are awesome. I wear mine a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have it up here with me tonight, but I do wear it a lot because I don't play in the sun because of my bald head. But the hat. So Ken and Glenn hats also prevent skin
Sunburn.
cancer of the head. So there's,
can we say that? Should we
well,
run
I
that?
did. I didn't say it was true. I just made it up.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, don't expose your bald heads to the sun. Get a Ken and Glenn cap.
There you go. That's it.
We need some Ken and Glenn undershorts. And then we get to decide on who has the front and who has the back. Because I think one of our names should be in front instead of side by side. Actually, it shouldn't be on the front of the undershorts. I'm designing it as we speak. It's the Ken and Glenn undershorts, and it's you get one butt cheek and I get the other.
Oh my God.
And the and is right in the middle of your crack. Come on. That's a great design. Drop a 1 if you think that's a great design for undershorts. How many of you would buy Ken and Glenn undershorts?
Look, Brick says Ken and Glenn, the toenail selling men. Wow.
I love the
Dude.
rhyme.
That's, yeah, wow. Do we wear it before you sign? Oh, Lord have mercy.
Lee just purchased. I'll tell you what, if we ever get them, Lee won't have to purchase.
Look, Ron Howell said he would buy them too.
He would buy the Ken and Glenn undershorts.
Oh my God.
And here's the thing. Okay, stay with me. If we discover that's a hot selling item, and we have Ken on one butt cheek, and so you would be on the left butt cheek, Ken, because you're the top billing, because we read left to right. So you would be on the left butt cheek, I would be on the right, and then we turn around and we roll it over, and the profits we turn from the Ken and Glenn undershorts, we begin making Ken and Glenn bras.
Actually, Glenn,
come on, dude.
I think we can do that already.
Ken and Glenn brassieres.
Oh my gosh. Hold on.
Ladies or overweight men who may also be wearing a bra, would you buy a Ken and Glenn brassiere?
How about, hold on. Okay. How about,
Victoria says I'd buy that.
Oh, I can't. I don't know how to show this.
And then you could nickname your butt cheeks Ken and Glenn. And after you've dated someone for a while, you look at them, Ken. I've got the whole jargon here. You look at them and go, so are you ready to meet Ken and Glenn?
Look, Joe said, oh.
He'd buy himself a bra. There it is.
Can I get that as my 21st birthday present?
You know what I love? You're laughing, but as soon as we hang up, you're going to go, dude, that's genius.
No, it is. It's very genius.
Look at this. Tracy says bikini tops, Ken and Glenn.
Yeah. Gail said, why not?
Why not?
So I can do in women's clothing, I can do t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, long sleeves, tank tops, skirts and dresses, sportswear, bottoms. Yes, I did say bottoms, swimwear, and shoes.
I think we Ken and Glenn some undershorts and some brassieres. That's what I say.
Okay.
You never knew what was going to set you loose on your path to financial freedom, did you, Ken?
Oh my God, that's so funny. Only if it's soft. Look, I'm wearing my Ken and Glenn boxers. You can't imagine the crap that goes on between.
And then we can get some bologna scented Ken and Glenn undershorts.
Oh my God.
Come on.
That's
because only our fans will know what that means.
That's beautiful.
It is a scratch and sniff pair of Ken and Glenn undershorts.
I love it, dude.
Scratch
I love it.
Because
Brilliant.
Most sit around scratching their butt, right?
It's brilliant.
If you want to scratch your butt, but without the unpleasant aroma, if you would like to scratch your butt and produce the scent of lunch meat, then
bologna.
Get your Ken and Glenn undershorts.
Yes. The Speedos only show the K and G. Oh my God. Okay.
I like it.
Listen,
let's go home. Let's say goodnight. I got to get to bed. I'm teaching acting tomorrow, Ken.
Yes. And my mother-in-law's right there.
Hi, Janet.
She's not awake. I don't think she's probably waking up once in a while.
Probably
when
still
I'm
trying
loud
to get
enough.
over the damage I did to the bathroom last night.
Glenn comes back into my office and goes, "Thank God you don't have wallpaper in there." I go, "I don't even know what that means. I need to Google." It's so funny.
All right.
All
Hey, listen, hopefully we were good for a few laughs tonight. We were good for some spiritual viewpoints, and that you indeed had a good time. We're glad. We're blessed by you guys. We love you. We're grateful for you. Have a terrific week, and above all, go out and make great choices that you're proud of, and choices that deliver a better version of you to this beautiful world.
Come on with it.
Come on with it.
Everything he just said.
Yeah, baby.
Peace.
Peace.